So hello and welcome to another YouTube video by myself, Daniel. I'm also known as the Bald Scrambler. So I'm spending the next couple of days camping up here in Snowdonia. So I've just driven round to, try to pronounce this correctly, Rhyd path. I've just parked up in the car park, £6 all day parking. Anyway, today I'm not doing any scrambling today. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I thought I'd go for a little trek up to Snowdon. I was here last week on the Snowdon Ranger path, so I thought I'd come back for a few days and try the Rhyd path. Anyway, look, a little bit about this route. It's 5.8 kilometers each way. Now, this certainly isn't the most difficult route up Snowdon, but I wouldn't say it's the easiest either. One of the things I like about this particular path is how quiet it is. This is by far the quietest route up to Snowdon. So if you like to get away from the crowds, as I do, I like to get away from people when I come up in the mountains, this is definitely a route to try. And as for timings, I think most people would probably do this in less than 5 hours. I think if you're going quite quick, you could probably do this in 4 hours if you didn't stop and you just marched up and down. I think 6 hours if you stop quite often, have a lunch at the top. But I think the average person would probably do 5, maybe 5 and a bit hours up and down. Now the route that I'm taking today is going to be a linear route. Okay, straight up to the top, back down on the same path. But that's only because it's a little bit late in the day. Normally I start quite early, and on this route I'd normally try to come back down on a different path. So nearby, if I show you, that's Snowdon. You've actually got the Snowdon Ranger path. I don't know how well you can see that, but on this grassy mountain side, that's the path that comes down. You might be able to see the zigzag. That's the Snowdon Ranger path. So normally I would start early, go up this route, do a circular route down the Ranger path, and then get the bus back to the car park. But I say it's a little bit late in the day. I might be coming down in the dark, so I'm just going to keep it simple today. So I'm about an hour into the walk, and the path so far has been fairly straightforward, fairly well-made path. We've just sort of come to the more rugged section, but I think still within the capabilities of an average person with average fitness. But I am approaching the section with the more exposed ridge, which I'm really excited to show you in a moment. Wow, what a lovely afternoon this has been so far. I'm coming up to about 2 hours into the route, and I'm not far away from the summit, as you can see in the distance. And I think I've only met about 4 or 5 people all day so far, also I say all afternoon. So it's been absolutely lovely. The weather's been on side, not too windy, not too cold. One of the people coming down did say there was a little snow flurry on the summit, which is obviously wonderful, late April. But so far, it hasn't been too difficult at all. I would say this bit coming up is probably the hardest part of the route. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the drone footage so far. As you saw, the view is absolutely spectacular up here, and the path does get a bit more rugged, as you probably notice in the footage there. Just to give you an idea of where we are, that's the Watkins path, which snakes down. That's where my campsite is tonight, down here. Now, one of the great things about coming up Snowdon either very early in the morning or very late in the day is sometimes, just sometimes, you're the only person on the summit. Well, going downhill is certainly a lot easier than going uphill. I think I'm moving about twice as fast coming downhill. So this brings me to an easily missed fork that I wanted to show you. You can see there's a path that goes down, that's the one we want. And there's another path that goes up. The path that goes up takes you onto the South Ridge, all the way down here, and down to the Watkins path, and down that way. That's where my campsite is tonight. But if you want to go down the way that you came up, take the right hand path. Just a little tip for you, don't want you getting lost up here. So I'm probably less than half an hour away, maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from my car, as you can see. What a fantastic day that has been. All that's left for me to say is to answer the question, how difficult is this route? You know, in all honesty, how difficult is it? So you're looking at about 11.5 kilometers up and down. Total height gain is about 900 meters. As you've seen from the footage, the path starts off fairly well made, but does get a bit more rugged near the top. A little bit of exposure on there, you saw. Perhaps on a windy day that could frighten a few people. I would say this route is bang in the middle, if I'm being honest. So if you've never done anything like this before, I think you should go up the Llanberis path. It's a longer route, but it's really shallow, and perhaps more importantly, there's lots of other people on that route. So if you get a little bit lost, you know, I'm pretty confident that you'll bump into somebody on that path. But here I've seen half a dozen, maybe 8 people all day. This route definitely more difficult than the Llanberis path, not as difficult as the Watkins path, definitely not as difficult as Crib Goch. Main hazards on here, you've got that slightly little exposed area on there. Also, potentially, because there's fewer people on this route, there is a risk that if the fog rolled in, you might have a few navigational issues. I think most people up here do pretty okay on this route, but if you have a look at the footage that I'm showing you now, you can see these huge cairns that people have made over the years, and they act as guideposts, and that's to help you when that cloud rolls in and you can't quite see where you're going, you can't see where the path is, you can only see 20 meters in front of you. These help to guide you a little bit. So this just goes to show it isn't a well-made path all the way to the top. You do need to have a few little navigational skills. As you can see on here, these cairns do help a little bit. So overall, I'm going to put this route right in the middle. Not the easiest route, but certainly not the most difficult either. So on that note, I think I'm going to say goodbye. Look, my name is Daniel. I have a website and a YouTube channel called The Board Scrambler. If you've enjoyed this video and you've liked the footage, do hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe as well. Of course, if you have a question, or just go down into the comment section and ask a question. I do read all of the comments down there. and I do hope to see you on the mountains one day. Keep safe, have lots of fun, and that's it. Adios.